Mr. Russell Smith, are you with us tonight? Russell, come up and speak with us tonight.
I was hoping Buddy had left his water up here because my mouth's really dry, but he didn't. I do want to thank the organizers of this gathering. I am honored, privileged to be here and get to speak. Gerald Ford said, when a man is asked to make a speech, the first thing he has to do is decide what to say. And he's right. And I decided that rather than try to impress you with what I know, I'm going to try to inspire you and remind you of some things that people before us have said. Because we are standing on the shoulders of giants, the people who founded this country. And we do have a duty to protect it and preserve it, and I'm so thankful to be here. Another thing Gerald Ford said is that a government big enough to give you everything you want is strong enough to take away everything you have. And that is where we are, unfortunately, and our government is trying to take away our liberty. People are waking up. Unfortunately, well, we are still the minority, but the future is controlled by those who show up. We got to keep showing up.
That's good.
Most Americans do not have an understanding of the control that the federal government has and the control that the federal government wants over our lives. They don't have an understanding of what the Federal Reserve does. Most people think the Federal Reserve is part of the federal government.
No,
it's not.
No, it's not.
Barry Goldwater, I learned a little bit about him. I don't agree with everything, but the father of the modern conservative movement. Let me, talking about candidates, listen to what Barry Goldwater said. I have little interest in streamlining government or in making it more efficient, for I mean to reduce its size. I do not undertake to promote welfare, for I propose to extend freedom. My aim is not to pass laws, but to repeal them. It is not to inaugurate new programs, but to cancel old ones that do violence to the Constitution or that have failed their purpose, or that impose an unwarranted financial burden on the people. I will not attempt to discover whether legislation is needed before I have first determined whether it is constitutionally permissible. And if I should be attacked for neglecting my constituents' interests, I shall reply that I was informed that their main interest is liberty, and that I am doing my very best in that cause. That's the kind of candidates, that's the kind of public servants that we need. We are being called radicals, buddy. We're being called extremists. Let's wear the label proudly. One more quote from Barry Goldwater. I would remind you that extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice. And let me remind you also that moderation in the pursuit of justice is no virtue. I sure do need your water. I want to remind you, and it's already been said, I'm fine. Our rights are God-given. They are not granted by the government. The Constitution is a wonderful document to protect our rights, but they come from God. The government cannot take them away. This document is part of our defense. Thank God for it. Thank God for the men who were wise to write this document. Other thing I want to remind you, and I'm sorry if I'm going long, the federal government was created by the states. It's not the other way around. And we may have to make our stand. If we can't be heard in Washington, we may have to be heard right here in Oklahoma to tell the federal government, no, not here.
Not here.
Thomas Jefferson said, if the people remain quiet under such misconceptions, it is lethargy, the forerunner of death to public liberty. And what country can preserve its liberties if its rulers are not warned from time to time that this people preserve the spirit of can't say it, the spirit of resistance.
There you go.
But you must remember, my fellow citizens, that eternal vigilance by the people is the price of liberty, and that you must pay the price if you wish to secure the blessing.
That's right. That's right.
Did you guys see this picture in the Poteau Daily News? It's a Poteau pre-K class, and they did a real neat little flag with finger paints, and they made their handprints on there for the stars and the stripes. It's a nice picture. It's a good thing that they did in remembrance of 9/11. But at the top, it says, our freedom rests in the future of these little hands. They got it backwards. Their future rests in our hands. Their freedom rests in us. To quote a great American, no, to paraphrase a great American, Richard Bonilla, we have our freedom. Let's protect it.